Ready? Ready.
What's up, guys? It's PIHCAM with HuddleGG, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Huddle. If you guys are new here, this is a series that we do every week where we answer your guys' questions. So if you guys have a question you'd like answered in a future video, wherever you're watching this, just make sure you leave that in the comment section below, and we'll do our very best to get to it in a future episode. If you don't see it, you can always join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord, and we answer all of your questions in there as well. So again, really appreciate you being here. But let's dive into this week's episode. And the first question is going to come from Michael Kelly. Okay, and they ask, how do you like to beat cover one robber press? So let's first look at cover one robber press and look at why this defense is called cover one robber press and what the rules of this defense are so we can understand how to attack it. So if we look at the defensive play art here, again, cover one tells us there's going to be one deep safety in the middle of the field. Okay, so again, you can see there that right of screen safety is dropping back to the deep middle. The robber portion of the play tells us that the other safety is going to be responsible for the yellow zone over the middle. As you can see, that other safety is dropping in the 3-rec hook. And then the press is just saying that all DBs on the play are going to press automatically, especially against spread sets. Against some compression sets, they're not going to press, so you may have to do that as a defensive player. But you can see here, all the DBs are automatically pressed. We're in a normal spread set here. Now, when it comes to the shading of this play, any receiver that's outside of the numbers is going to get shaded to the inside. Okay, any receiver that's inside of the numbers is going to get shaded to the outside. The reason that's built into the game is because those defenders are pushing those receivers to where their help is, right? The outside corners, their help's to the sideline, and then the inside corners, their help is to the middle of the field where you have the 3-rec and the deep middle third. Okay, now the play that we're going to use to attack this is going to be Y shallow cross out of the gun spread formation, but the route that's really important here is going to be this B receiver to the right side of the screen. You see how this isn't a traditional streak route. He's going to bend to the inside first, and then he's going to break it back out towards the sideline. This route can actually not get pressed with the traditional cover one press look here, and I'm going to show you what I mean. But the reason why I like this play is we can actually run this pretty much stock. We are going to put our running back on a route, and I'll tell you why. But the A and the Y do a good job against cover one. To get open as well, because again, we talked about those receivers that are inside the numbers are getting shaded to the outside. So we want in breaking routes there, which we have 2 of those there. But first, I want to show you the B route is going to get wide open. Again, we don't have to do anything with the running back for this. He's going to not get pressed. We're just going to be able to throw this ball over the top and get ourselves an easy one-play touchdown. You can see that's Pat Surtain, the best cornerback in MUT right now, and he's not able to press. So again, it's not a ratings thing here. It's just this specific route when he is on the line of scrimmage. So if you have this in another formation where you can get him on the line of scrimmage, you can definitely run it there as well. It doesn't have to be this specific play, but you do need to have this specific route to have it work this way. But again, if we go to say hike, I just want to show you how consistent it'll be. He's going to get off the press. We're going to be able to throw that over the top and get ourselves the easy one-play touchdown. Just make sure you throw it away from the safety. So again, try to throw it more towards the sideline rather than throwing it to the middle of the field. But you can see here, this guy on this route is going to avoid the press and just run right by that DB and get ourselves the easy touchdown over the top. Now, there are a few things that I want to do and look for. First thing is I do want to put my running back out on a swing route or any route to the outside. You could do a table route or a flat route if you wanted as well. The reason we're doing that is if you look at the defense here, again, they have the 3-rec over the middle of the field. Other than that, they don't have anybody else to help out underneath. So if we leave that running back on a check and release or we block him, that player who's manned up to the running back would become another defender over the middle of the field. And we don't want to muddy that up just in case our B receiver is getting covered correctly to the right side of the screen. Okay, because then again, we have to look to the drag and the dig. But one thing that people can do to avoid you throwing it to the B is just back off that corner on that side of the field. If they're in backed off or off coverage there, we're not going to be able to throw this over the top because he's not going to get beat off the line. Now there, it's just going to be, we're trying to win an ag. That's not something you want to live with. Okay, so again, if they are looking to back off that corner and you notice that they're doing that to try to take away that B route, we're now going to look to the A and the Y. Okay, so I'm going to look to the A first, but we're really just reading the 3-rec hook and where he goes on the play. Okay, so if the 3-rec hook takes the drag, then we're going to throw the dig. If the 3-rec takes the dig, we're going to throw the drag. Okay, but again, it is important to put your running back out to the flat to get that other man defender out of the play. What you're going to see here is if we say hike, if they take the drag, we're going to be able to throw the in route right there. And you can see that we're able to get that easy completion. And again, this player is shaded naturally to the outside. So we're going to be able to win in breaking routes the vast majority of the time. So you see here, we're able to win that, and that's going to give us an easy completion over the middle. Again, we're always looking for that B first, but if they take it away by backing off that corner or maybe shading over the top, something like that, we can definitely look to the other routes on the field. And then again, if this player would stay on that Y and look to help out with that dig route, I'll just simulate it by manning him up there. We're now going to look to the A receiver. Okay, so if we send that running back out, now we look to the A receiver, we're going to be able to win a lot with him as well, because like I said, that player is shaded to the outside. So we want to utilize these in-breaking routes. And if we send 2 of them over the middle, the 3-rec cannot take care of both of them. So again, use this play, look to your B receiver first. If he's not open, if your opponent is either shading over the top or backing that cornerback off, then you can look to the combination of that drag and dig over the middle. Wherever the 3-rec, wherever that user takes, just throw it to the other one. Our next question today comes from Sean Too Cozy, and they ask, how do I stop my defense from messing up against motion? Now, this is a question that we actually get quite a bit, and there's a few things it could be. So I'm going to go over a few things of what we should expect when a player is motioning pre-snap and how we should expect our defense to react, and some coaching adjustments we can look at making sure we're not messing up before the play. So first of all, when we are coming out in a defensive play, you need to understand if you're in zone or man, they're going to react to motions differently. Okay, so if we come out in a cover 3 sky here, and on the offensive side of the ball, we come out in one of these pre-snap auto motions where the player runs all the way across the formation and runs this wheel down the sideline, which again, very popular out of a lot of different formations. What you're going to see is if we're in a zone coverage, we're going to see our defense shift a little bit, but nobody's going to run across the formation. Nobody's going to follow that guy. They're just going to, again, shift a little bit based off of the new alignment, and they're going to play that cover 3 sky defense. Now, if we come out in a play like cover 1, which again, similar to cover 3 in terms of alignment pre-snap with the 1 high safety look, what you're going to see now though is with man coverage, that player who's defending the motion player is going to run all the way across the formation with him. But we want him to do that, because if he doesn't, then he's going to be extremely out of position on the backside to actually follow and play man coverage against that player. So again, it's a good thing for them to follow if you're playing man coverage. Now, if you are playing zone coverage and you notice that your players are swapping or things like that, there is something that you could be doing that you don't know or don't even realize is messing up your defense. And that's going to be under our coaching adjustments under the cornerback matchups. Okay, if you have this set to anything but balanced, you can be actually harming your zone coverage. And I personally recommend keeping this on balance no matter what type of defense you're running. I don't think it's worth it to put it on any of these settings, just because, again, if you do run zone coverage at one point, and then they go to use these pre-snap auto motions, you're going to be in a really bad position. And there are people who understand how to take advantage of this. So again, I just recommend leaving this set to balance no matter what, because you're going to see if we set this to anything, we're just going to go by overall here, and we come back out and cover 3 sky against that same exact play. You're going to see now when we go to say hike, our 2 outside corners are going to swap entirely. And this is really, really bad. Obviously, we don't want that to be something that we do, because we're going to be giving up easy 1-play touchdowns over the top if we are doing something like this. So again, just make sure if you're playing zone coverage, and like I said, I even think if you play man coverage, leave that coaching adjustment set to balanced, because again, I don't want to mess with any of these because it can mess up the alignment. It can get you guys to swap. If we go to audible, you may see your outside cornerback swapping all the way. And if our opponent says hike before they can get to the other side of the field, you're going to, again, be in a really bad position. So again, really recommend leaving this on balance. If you don't want to listen to my advice on that, you can put this on something and you can turn defensive motion response to disabled. Again, I don't like this because then my defense doesn't move at all. They don't shift if they're doing any type of motion. So what you're going to see is if we do have that setting on, or if we have that setting set to disabled, you're going to see if we're in a cover 3 sky here, when we do this auto motion, nobody's going to move at all. Now against a play like this, it would be fine. But there are certain times where I actually want my defense to shift a little bit. Again, I don't want my outside cornerback swapping, but I do want my defense to shift to better align to the formation that my opponent's now going to be running. So again, I don't recommend this, but if you do want to have those cornerback matchups on, you need to make sure that you have this defensive motion response set to disabled. But again, understand if you're running zone, you shouldn't expect your guys to be running across the formation. If you're running man, you should expect it. Again, if you are running zone and you see your outside corner swapping or things like that, just make sure you go into your coaching adjustments and make sure that you have your cornerback matchups set to balanced. Our next question today comes from the president, and they ask, how do you like to block pinch buck 0? Now, pinch buck 0 is a pretty popular defense year in and year out, and it's just a very heavy pressure cover 0 style blitz that people like to use because of the alignment. But this year, with one of the new mechanics that was added to the game, this is actually a pretty easy blitz to block. I'm going to show you what I mean here. So they're going to come out in this play. You may see them press, you may see them show blitz. It's going to look something like this, where again, they're blitzing 6 and they're using the other player here. So they're showing 7. So I do want to preface this by saying you need to block more than your offensive line to pick this blitz up. Just a pure numbers game. They're sending 6. We have to block 6. You can block this with either a running back or a tight end. I'll show you both here as well. First, we're going to show the running back. And again, the actual setup for this is really, really simple. We're going to block the running back. We're going to untarget the user. Okay, so you have to understand which player is the user. Typically, players are going to user the same guy every time, but you'll also see them move a little bit pre-snap if you don't have something like identifier. So you can just look for those pre-snap movements. If they shift their player a little bit, you know that's obviously the guy that they're on. We're going to untarget that player, and then from there, we're going to either full slide to the left or the right. Now, I do want to show you what I like to look for when I'm full sliding. First of all, the reason why I full slide is I want that running back to pick up the edge defender on either side. Okay, so you see if we full slide left, he's going to pick up the edge defender to the right. If we full slide to the right, he's going to pick up the edge defender to the left. Now, what I want you to see is look at the angles of the offensive linemen and how far they have to reach to get to some of their players here in order to block them. So you can see, obviously, the right tackle doesn't have to move far at all to block his player, but the right guard has to go all the way to the D tackle. The center has to go to the left. The left guard has to go pretty far to the left, and then the tackle has to get out wide as well. So you can see that 4 of our 5 offensive linemen in this setup actually have to reach a little bit further than what I want them to in order to pick up their appropriate guy. Now, if we full slide the other way, you're going to see that now 3 of our linemen are really good on the left side with the left tackle, the left guard, and the center, where they don't have to move at all to pick up that block. And now we just need 2 of our players to reach block a little bit on the right side with the right guard and the right tackle. So in this situation, I would full slide to the right to get my running back to pick up the guy on the left. But again, the reason I'm doing that isn't for the running back, more so it's for that offensive line where I'm trying to limit my offensive line having to reach as far, and again, trying to get as few players reaching as I can. Okay, so again, you can see here, 4 of our linemen are having to move pretty far to their left to get up or to block their man. Here, only 2 of our linemen. So again, that's the reason why I would do it this way. But from there, that's all you need to do to pick up this blitz. Obviously, you want to have a man beating concept on the with your routes. So again, it's cover 0. So find your best cover 0 beater and run that. But you can see how we're going to be able to pick that up, and then we have time to make our read down the field. You still do want to throw this ball fairly quickly because again, you're having one-on-one blocks everywhere, and your running back is blocking somebody. A lot of times they're not going to hold up super long with all of the one-on-one blocks, but you can see how we're able to pick this up beautifully. We get a hat on a hat. That's all we can ask for when we're picking up blitzes. Again, getting a hat on a hat. If we get a shed, that's not something we can really take away. You can see here the left guard does get shed here by the middle linebacker. Again, that's not something you can completely avoid. Again, your goal as an offensive player is getting a hat on a hat and understanding that you do need to get rid of the ball fairly quickly. But you can see here we're able to throw that ball and again, make that easy read down the field. Now, if you do have a tight end on the line, you can block them as well. So if we come out here and we are in pinch bug 0, and let's just come out in a formation that has the tight end on the line, and you're going to do something similar here where we need to block him. Again, because we need 6 people blocking. So if they're showing blitz, something like that, what we want to do is we want to block the tight end, and then we're going to untarget the actual guy they're using, right? And then from there, I like to just half slide away from the tight end. Okay, obviously here you can't pick which way to half slide, because if we half slide to the right, we're going to give a free runner up to the left, because the tight end cannot block right or left. We do need the tight end blocking to his side. Again, I'm just going to half slide away from the tight end. Again, our offensive line may need to reach a little bit with this. I do recommend having the running back because you have a little bit more flexibility. But you're going to see here, we're still going to be able to block this and pick it up, and that would give us the time that we would need to throw the ball and obviously pick up a big gain. And against cover 0, you can actually pick up a lot more one-play touchdowns because when they're playing cover 0, they have no safety help over the top. So if you make a man miss or you break a tackle, you're going to take it to the house because, again, they just have no more defenders there to help tackle your receiver. Our last question for today comes from Top Shot, and they ask, can I use a custom playbook in online head-to-head or play a friend? Now, if you're talking about regs, the answer is yes, and I'll show you how to do so. If you're talking about Ultimate Team, you cannot use custom playbooks in Ultimate Team. But if you are playing normal regs, online head-to-head, or playing a friend there, what you want to do is first create your playbook. So you go to your creation center and you'll go to Playbooks, and then obviously you would need to create your playbook here, you're going to see that I did have a custom Patriots, just a generic one that I created really quickly for this video. But when you create that playbook, and again, you need to save it. When we go to online head-to-head, what we want to do is if we're just playing a quick match against random people, when we're selecting our team, we're going to push advanced settings, which on Xbox, it's going to be X, and then on PlayStation, it's going to be square. You're going to see it's going to pop up our playbooks, our coin toss, our jerseys, all of that. Under the playbooks, you just want to scroll to the very beginning. Right before Arizona, it's going to have our custom playbooks here. Okay, so you can see here our custom Patriots that we just showed. And then defensively, it would be the same here as well. I don't have a custom defensive playbook, but it would be at the beginning right before Arizona there also. Now, if you are playing a friend, it's going to be in the exact same spot. So I'll just show you here that it will be there. So again, if you are playing a friend, when you go into playing the friend, I'm just going to pick a random person here to go against. What you're going to see is you're just going to do that advanced settings again, and you're going to go to the beginning of the playbooks, and you're going to see that right before Arizona, you're going to have your custom playbook options. So again, you can if you are playing regs. If you are playing Ultimate Team, unfortunately, you cannot use custom playbooks right now. If you guys are looking to get even better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Have a great day.